As we wait for any news related to the second season of Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender, we are left wondering how they will adapt the second season of the original animated series, and if they will improve the flaws they had in this first season. One thing is for sure, not everything about this new adaptation was adapted incorrectly, or at least it was acceptable. Without a doubt, one of the most beloved characters in Avatar The Last Airbender is Uncle Iroh, and we personally feel that Netflix did a great job with this character. What does the future hold for this character in the second season? Why exactly will he suffer? Will the events that follow change how Uncle Iroh is? All of these questions will be answered by the end of this video, as we will be discussing Uncle Iroh's fate in the second season of Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender. Keep in mind that this video will contain spoilers for Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender and possibly its source material. So take this as your spoiler warning. But before we begin, if you enjoy everything related to Avatar The Last Airbender and want to see more content like this, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel, since we will be discussing everything related to this series. Welcome to the Avatar State. To fully understand what's going to happen with Uncle Iroh in the upcoming season, let's first revisit the events that transpired in the first season of Netflix's Avatar The Last Airbender. When we first see this character, he is at his nephew's chambers. Prince Zuko says that they need to sail towards Wolf Cove. Uncle Iroh was a bit skeptical about it, since Zuko was just assuming that it was the Avatar because of a beam of light that was shot to the sky. The Dragon of the West was trying to make his nephew come to reason and accept that the throne isn't everything. But Zuko didn't listen, and even told him that it was his destiny. We then see him as Zuko is training his fire bending. Iroh tries to tell him that if he manages to capture the Avatar and defeat him, that his arrival to the Fire Nation could be unexpected. Zuko tells Iroh that he's wrong. When Aang gets captured, Iroh visits him at his cell. He says that many never imagined that day would come, including himself. Aang asks Iroh why the Fire Nation started the war. Iroh replied by saying that some people say it is within their nature to expand and consume like fire itself, and others believe that true stability in this world can only happen under their rule. Aang replies saying that peace comes from respecting life, not killing and destroying. Again, Iroh says that for most of them, it doesn't matter how the war started, it only matters how it can end. And that the belief is that by capturing him, the Fire Nation can finally bring that about. Aang asks if that's what he believes, and Iroh ignores this question by saying that he must leave, but he looks forward to many conversations with him. After Aang managed to escape, we see that Zuko is desperately trying to find his journal that Aang took. Uncle Iroh tries to calm his nephew by telling him that he's sure it will turn up, and that he needs to keep in mind that the notebook didn't find the Avatar. He did. Iroh also adds that his notebook may have been useful to collect his thoughts, but his unceasing effort is what led him to the Avatar. Zuko affirms that the Avatar is a coward for running away. Iroh lets him know that he doesn't know about that, but it's clear that this Avatar is not what he or anyone else would have expected. Uncle Iroh brings Prince Zuko to a port that houses the regional Fire Nation commander. He lets his nephew know that it's a hub of local information, and that if any unusual activity were to happen in the vicinity, it would be reported there. Zuko lets Iroh know that he's lost his mind. If he wants to ask a Fire Nation commander if they've seen the Avatar, and if word gets out, everyone will be looking for him. Uncle Iroh tries to calm him down and lets him know that he needs to learn to get what he wants without divulging his true intentions. This is when they meet with Commander Zhao and lets him know that they are in search of maps and surveillance reports in hopes to track schools of jumping shark squids. Zhao asks him to give him till morning in order to help him. When morning comes, they see that the commander's ship is missing. A local lets them know that Zhao heard something about a flying cow at Kyoshi Island and set sail at dawn. The Dragon of the West and the exiled prince set sail to Kyoshi Island as well. When they finally arrive, Zuko is worried that they're too late. While looking afar, Uncle Iroh says that in Paisho, the first move is not always the best. Knowledge of your opponent, knowing where he might go, is more important than speed. He then points to Kyoshi's shrine and says that where there is one Avatar, there may be another. We then see how General Zhao is explaining himself to Zuko and Iroh, saying that he was responding to reports of a disturbance at Kyoshi Island, and he had no idea the Avatar would be there. They then form an alliance to capture the Avatar. Their journey brings them to Vomashu, where Zuko and Iroh disguise themselves to blend in within the city. Uncle Iroh picks up a Paisho piece, the White Lotus, as Zuko gets careless in a fight with Aang as he fire bends and alerts the guards at Vomashu. The Dragon of the West sacrifices himself and gets captured in order to save Prince Zuko from dealing with this same fate. As a prisoner, Uncle Iroh has a very interesting conversation with the young Avatar. Aang tells him that he can change Zuko and his way of thinking, that he owes him that much. Iroh corrects him by telling him that it's the other way around, and that it is him who owes Zuko far more than he can ever repay him. Iroh then is being transported to the pit, where after getting hit by an Earth Kingdom soldier, he leaves behind the White Lotus tile he picked up at the market, so his nephew can follow his trail. The soldier shares that, whilst Iroh had Ba Sing Se at siege, his brother, a 19-year-old Earth Kingdom soldier, lost his life. As the soldier lifts up a rock and puts it over Iroh's head, the other soldiers stop him. He then tells Iroh that he has no humanity and knows nothing of loss. The soldier can't be further from the truth, as we then get a flashback that proves otherwise. The flashback shows us the funeral of Lu Ten, Uncle Iroh's son, who lost his life at this siege. Iroh decided to abandon the siege after this event, forever being known as a coward, as his son died being a hero. At this funeral, Zuko gives his uncle a medal that his cousin Lu Ten gave him when his studies weren't going well, and Ozai was upset. Lu Ten won it for finishing first in his officer class, and told Zuko that it should belong to someone destined to do great things. Zuko explained that it gave him strength, and that Lu Ten never needed it, because he was the strongest person he knew. Back in the present, Zuko eventually rescues his uncle from his captors, and the Dragon of the West spares his life by saying that they've all seen enough death. Zuko and Iroh then visit Senlin Pass, where there was a report about kids playing with ice blocks. They visit a tavern to see if they could get some information about this, and to their surprise, everyone heard about the Avatar from different sources. Enraged and worried that someone will capture the Avatar before them, they meet June, the best bounty hunter there is. Iroh convinces his nephew to hire her to capture Aang. When Zhao gets promoted to admiral, he gives orders to not resume the original course. Zuko tries to take control but is ignored by his lieutenant, as Zhao now has an immense amount of power. Iroh tries to let them know that Zuko is the one that deserves their loyalty. Lieutenant G says that Zuko doesn't know the meaning of the word, and if he did, he would have shown them a lot more respect, and that he didn't care what they had to sacrifice, because he never had to sacrifice anything. This is later revisited as the crew finds out by Uncle Iroh that the reason Zuko was exiled in the first place was to protect them from being sacrificed. June eventually finds and captures the young Avatar and meets with Zuko and Iroh. Unfortunately for them, Admiral Zhao finds them and takes Aang from them. Zuko tries to plan a way to get him back, but his uncle assures him that Po Huai stronghold, where Aang is being taken, is impenetrable, and that the best they can do is wait for Zhao to mess up so they can make their move. In newfound respect and loyalty towards the prince, thanks to the Dragon of the West himself, Lieutenant G warns them that the Fire Lord gave orders to bring Prince Zuko back to Capital City, where he is to stand trial for treason. Iroh figures out that Zhao convinced the Fire Lord to turn against his son, and that it was because he figured out that Zuko was the one that freed the Avatar at Po Huai stronghold. As Zuko was escaping, he noticed the boat has blasting jelly, and Uncle Iroh was worried his nephew didn't survive. He even told Admiral Zhao he knew exactly who did it, and blamed his brother Ozai to avoid any suspicion. But in reality, he helped Zuko disguise himself as a Fire Nation soldier. We see how he wishes his nephew good luck on his mission to capture the Avatar, and he keeps a close eye on Zhao. He accompanies the Admiral into the Spirit Oasis beyond the wall of Agna Kella. As he saw Zhao's true intentions to mess with the spirits, he warns him that whatever he does to them, he will unleash tenfold on him. After Zhao's actions, the Dragon of the West searches for his nephew so they can escape. While doing this, they encounter the Admiral once again, and when he saw that Zhao tried to attack Zuko whilst he wasn't looking, Iroh attacked him, seemingly ending with his life. We last see Uncle Iroh when he is on a kayak with his nephew trying to get to their naval ship. Now, what exactly is going to happen on the second season with this beloved character? For starters, we believe that once Fire Lord Ozai finds out that his son is alive, he will try and bring both Iroh and Zuko in for a trial, as they will be known as traitors to the Fire Nation. If everything goes according to the original animated series, Ozai will give his daughter, Azula, the task to bring them in and capture the Avatar, and thanks to this, Zuko and Iroh will be forced to alter their current look and live as fugitives. However, they will start to drift apart from each other until Zuko eventually decides that they no longer had anything to gain by traveling together, and they will each take their own path. The two will soon reunite, as Iroh covertly follows Zuko in case he needed assistance. Zuko will get in over his head in a three-way battle with Aang and Azula. Iroh and the rest of Team Avatar are going to intervene. The six of them will confront Azula together, but she will hurt Iroh with a blue fire blast to the chest and escape. After recovering from his injury, Iroh will teach Zuko the advanced firebending techniques he would need to defeat Azula. These include how to create lightning, but his nephew's emotional turmoil will prevent him from making progress with the difficult technique. Instead, Iroh will teach Zuko a technique of his own creation to absorb and redirect lightning, which he developed after studying waterbenders. With the Order of the White Lotus's help, Iroh and Zuko are going to make their way to Ba Sing Se as refugees. Once inside, Iroh will get them jobs at a tea shop, and eventually will get offered his own tea shop. Iroh will have no issue getting accustomed to his new life, but his nephew won't have the same experience. Eventually, Azula will offer Zuko a chance to reclaim his honor by helping take over the Earth Kingdom capital, where he is going to accept. Iroh is going to defend the lifeless body of the Avatar and Katara, giving them time to escape before he peacefully allows himself to be captured. Iroh is going to make eye contact with Zuko before turning away, expressing shame at his nephew's decision. So, as you can see, Iroh will suffer a lot in this upcoming season, not only because of Azula's attack, but because of Zuko's poor decision-making. This character will be affected severely, especially since his goal has always been to try and show his nephew the bigger picture, and that sometimes what he desires isn't always what he's destined to do. And to see his nephew make this mistake, when he regrets his actions to contribute to the war and suffer dire consequences, it's going to leave him in a lot of pain, more than any elemental or physical attack can bring him. Tell us, what's your opinion on this? Did we miss anything? Thanks for watching the video. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this.